speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you knew good for me. That's why me know send me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away me say. Have to take away me say. I have to utilize I wings. Surely I leave where I is. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today's Friday, and a lot of people say, thank God it's Friday. I say, thank God it's another day for all of us to be living. Thank God it's Independence Day in Jamaica as well. So big up to all those in Jamaica who celebrate Independence 59 this year. I got some surprise for you. Today is Poetry Corner, and our special guest this morning is none other than Amina Blackwood Meeks. Yes, she'll be coming here and she's gonna do some little chit chatting as well. She's gonna recite some poetry for us as well. I got also Max, Juanette, Courtney, Flavius, and Francine will be joining me as well, along with some other people in the chat room. So let me bring in Max, Juanette, and Courtney and see what's going on. Top of the morning, guys. Top of the morning.
Grand Rising. Top of the morning, Franco.
Yeah, Grand Rising too, Max. Grand Rising. What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Finally, there's some sun.
Don't make it fool you, Florida winner. Remember me tell you, Florida weather is unpredictable, so don't make it fool you.
Okay, I won't get too happy. But again, a happy Independence Day to Jamaica. And all Jamaicans, of course, it's our days every day. You know, I saw this day.
Oh, yeah, every day. So
I didn't wear my black and gold and green today. Sorry, me tired.
I have some black, you know.
See black, y'all.
I have some black. And the mix of a whole heap of gold and green. So that can't hold me.
You see, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing well, hanging in there and looking forward to the rest of the show. I'm happy to see all the guests.
Yes, I can
Beautiful.
see Mr. Bean is there and Marge the poet is there as well. Yeah, I got some surprise music for you this morning. Trust me. Yes, I'm gonna drop.
Don't forget.
What?
Brick Rose.
Eh?
Brick Rose is here.
Who is Brick Rose? Oh, Brick Rose. Okay.
Good morning.
The poet from, you remember last Monday's One Shot Slam Show, boy.
Yeah. Top of the morning. Man, I never even recognized the name. Welcome.
Good morning, Brick Rose.
Well,
Good morning.
Well. Glad to see everybody. Because guess what? Whatever happens, we're going to make it be very joyful. I always say have a joyful day. We're going to make it be a joyful day. Whether it's a rain or it's a sun or shine or whatever, people under lockdown or curfew, whatever it is. Because we know we can't under lockdown too, but you know why we're not under it, Max? Our governor is stubborn. That's why we're not under lockdown. So every day the numbers increase and people are dying and children are getting it as well. So we have to just give thanks and praise that, you know, we are what we are right now, you know. So, Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods? Let me hear what's going on over there.
Well, the sun is shining brightly. We have nice weather. You know, this weather been like helter-skelter, up and down. The nights are very cool. Last night was like very cool. Wow. I was surprised to say, well, in a summer night, you have 70 degrees and all of that. You know, so... You know, it's been a beautiful weather. And, good. You know, well, you know, as I said, we don't know. Because, you know, sometimes it just rains suddenly and all of that. So, but let me just say happy independence to all Jamaicans here and abroad. And everywhere in the world they be. Yeah, so big up to Jamaica.
I know, yeah, this scatter all over the world, you know. Hey, by the way, what was the result of this morning women 4x1 relay. Did we win?
Ask Flavors.
Courtney, we win. Marge, did we win?
I didn't watch.
If we win the race, because I heard I saw something. I saw Marge in deep meditation, man.
Well,
yes, eventually we won. We won.
Bean. Check with Errol Bean.
We won. Yes, I was scared to almost near death, but they were celebrating, and the broadcast, the anchor, really did something damage to me this morning when he said that they ran out of lane. It was a little close when Jackson took from Shelley, but we are celebrating, and it's a national record for Jamaica, and we won.
Oh, because I that's what I saw flash across in front of me on YouTube, that there's some US lodge a complaint and thing like that, you know.
I hope it doesn't go any further than that.
I lose then lose.
Maybe they're gonna ban chocho and the yellow yam and all them things. Maybe I'm gonna ban we from eat them something.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I am waiting on a song. Somebody's supposed to send me another song, but I want to play this song. I have 2 songs I'm going to play, and I want to play this one. They said this is the winning festival song for 2021, and it's from a young lady, and her name is Stacia. So it's the title of it is Jamaican Spirit. So let me put like a spirit before we do some Fly Jamaica, okay?
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Morning, Miss Jones.
Wake this morning, peep through me window. Hot sun a shine, so you know how the thing go. Go in a me backyard and pick 2 mango. Enjoy the sweetness and plan where me can go. This is a new day, and I'm thankful for another chance to win. I am a fighter, a survivor, and I'm never giving in. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail. Never been afraid to try again. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail. Never been afraid to try again. From me little and I grow hard worker when me know I'm never ever have a next choice. I feel make hay with the sun face fears no fear run. I feel satisfy and earn sacrifice. Never have everything, no it never easy. But me live good wouldn't change it, believe me. Mommy make sure all me grow respect me for sure. Take a little bit make everything nice. This is a new day and I'm thankful for another chance to win. I am a fighter, a survivor, and I'm never giving in. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail. Never been afraid to try it.
This one I talk about Jamaica, so listen up, people. It not to be a festival song, you know. That's why I know as long as it I said Jamaica, saying.
So high, rise and fly, Jamaica fly, let us fly, so high. Oh, rise up, step up and fly. Rise up, step up and fly. Let's rise above the system that keep we down so long. Rise up, step up and fly. Let's sing again. Rise up, step up and fly. Rise up, step up and fly. Let's sing the songs of freedom as we celebrate. Rise up, step up and fly. Fly, Jamaica fly. Let us fly so high. Rise and fly, Jamaica fly. Let us fly so high. Come on, rise up, step up and fly. Rise up, step up and fly. Let's rise above this thing that divide us so long. Rise up, step up and fly. I come again. Rise up, step up and fly. Rise up, step up and fly. Make we all unite.
Yes, my people. In case you're just joining us, welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast. I see Max one at a Baba already, like the bobbing doll. You have the song there, Marge.
Me send you the link, you know.
You send me the link.
No, me not think me have it downloaded from my phone. You want me to play it from my phone?
I want the song itself, yeah, so me can play it.
Me not have it. Me have a link to this to YouTube.
Oh, so that's the link. Okay, I get you. All right.
I feel out of place today. I think I might have to do a wardrobe change.
Let me see if we can play this one here then.
Okay.
I'm going to try if I can play it. In the meantime, let me drop this one and then we can come to it. All right?
Okay.
The sun is shining in the garden. Yes, your true beauty is unfolding. Let peace and love abide in this country. Every morning at 6, got to get myself fixed to face the daily task and the test of time. Peace and love, we can make it. Come what may, got to face it. Peace and love, we can make it. Come what may, got to face it. People stop your fighting. Make no sense, that's killing. We have got a foundation to build. So come show the whole world we will. Peace and love, we can make it. Come what may, got to face it. Peace and love, got to make it. Come what may, got to face it. Rain is falling, crops are growing. Your true beauty is now showing.
We have bunks out as much as we can, but I'm going to play this one. Max sent me the link, and it's from, it was written by Marge the poet. Marge, are you there? Unmute your mic, let me hear. This song was written by you, right?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning to everyone.
Yeah, this song was written by you, right? And it got what, second place?
Second place in the festival.
Next year, you're going to get number one. I'm going to drop this one.
Maybe.
Yeah, Love Jamaica, my land.
Remember to pick up your cousin Winston at the airport. And remember to take him around. Mama, carry him around. Me I tell them about mental rock steady. Me I tell them about scam. Me I tell them about reggae. Me I tell them about dancehall. Me I tell them about Oregon. Me I tell them about jerk chicken. Yo, them used to know them things. And me I tell them say we have one of the richest culture in the entire world. You see that little island here? No people don't know it. You see that island here? Sure.
Me love Jamaica, my land. Yeah, me love Jamaica Island. Roast couple fish, breadfruit I am. Sure, breadfruit I am. Link the jerk man, fling the chicken on the pan. You better put that chicken on the pan. Come and eat some food from my cousin Winston. We're just flying from England. You remember Jackass can't spin the kick and fly the kite. No violence, I just play a fight. When we a shoot the marble and a play the ring game. Fatty thumper shotty, everybody have a nickname. Down a hero circle where you find the crab and the can. No attraction, no over that cast farm. Chilling by the ends, yes you know what I want. Tell the cops and have a ring no alarm. Jamaica, my land. Yeah, me love Jamaica Island. Roast couple fish, breadfruit I am. Sure, Breadfruit I am. Check the jerk man, fling the chicken on the pan. You better put that chicken on the pan. Come and need some food from my cousin Winston. We're just flying from England. Oh, who said the place so nice? Who said the place so fun? Run, go get me Pepsi, get me ice, go get me rum. And listen to the music, it's a good vibes. Me chilling by the beach and everything is alright. Jamaica is a place and me say lot of happy face. And when the music hit and me say it can't erase. Me know you feel the treble and the magic in the bass. Me love Jamaica, my land.
Yes, Jamaica, my land. Love Jamaica, my land. Whoa. We have some more people rolling in. Max, where are you, Max? Courtney, are you there? Mr. Bean, I'm told that you have something that you can recite or talk about this morning about Jamaica. Hold on, I think your mic, unmute your mic. I'm not hearing you. All right, I'm hearing you now. Yeah, hearing you now.
Okay, sorry about that. This is called Our Prayer for Jamaica. It was originally done for Jamaica 50, but we re-edited and just for all times. We have English, Patois, French, and Spanish, but I can only fairly read the English. I can't read the Patois, so it's a shame, but I will try next time. So here goes. It's called Our Prayer for Jamaica. Eternal God, as we celebrate the anniversary of our independence, give ear to the prayers and petitions we offer for Jamaica land we dearly love. Be pleased to accept our thanks and praise for your guidance, provision, protection, and our achievements. We sincerely thank you for our spiritual and religious teachers, our political and business leaders, our athletes, our laborers, and our workers in industries, our singers and players of instruments, our creators of arts, our security forces, our cultural icons, our professionals, and all who have worked and are working to build our nation. We give special thanks for our heroes and heroines and all those who have bought our rights and freedom with their blood, sweat, and tears. God of grace and mercy, we beseech you to forgive us for the innocent blood we have shed, for the countless characters who now lie dead by grievous and slanderous words we have said. Forgive also those who enslaved our ancestors, underdeveloped Africa, brutalized, tarnished, and dehumanized our people. Deliver us from mental enslavement and cause our struggles for reparation to bear fruit in our lifetime. God of peace and unity, we ask that out of our ethnic diversity, you will fashion us into one people with one love, one aim, one hope, and one destiny. Empower us to unite against violence and crime. Free us from the spirit of divisiveness and tribalism and break down the walls of division and segregation. Uproot hatred, bigotry, and prejudice from our hearts and fill us with the energy of love to live at peace with our neighbors. God of love and compassion, infuse in us the spirit of empathy and humanity to act on behalf of the physically, mentally, emotionally challenged, the infirm, the weak, the aged, and the helpless, and the abandoned children, the orphans, the destitute, and the many homeless people among us. God of righteousness and justice, give wisdom to our leaders, and by your grace make honesty their strength and sincerity their power. Heal our land of corruption and dishonesty, nepotism, victimization, and the abuse of power and authority. Grant that justice and fair play may be equally divided among us, and by your power and might release those who have been falsely imprisoned and have had their rights taken away. God of hope and inspiration, give hope to the hopeless, restore the sick in body, mind, and spirit, heal the wounds of the brokenhearted, lift up the fallen, dejected, and rejected. Bless all our people wherever they reside, and restore our dignity, confidence, and pride. Leave us not alone as we face the future unknown. Bless us with your peace, tranquility, and joy. Strengthen us as we work and pray to make Jamaica some bright day indeed become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business to your honor, your glory, and your praise. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Courtney, is Miss Meeks here? Miss Meeks, are you in the building?
I've just I just heard got a message to send her the thing by her emails, the Zoom link, so I did.
All right, I think she's here. She's coming. She's coming. She's coming. So I'll tell you what, in the meantime, let me drop this song till she gets settled. Give thanks and praise. All right, so let's shoot it out.
Now let us give thanks and praise to the Father for guiding us through 25 years of independence. Give thanks and praises, we are 25. Though the road was rocky and the hills were steep, still we survived. We put the faith and trust in the Father, He's keeping us alive. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. How good and how pleasant it is that we can live in harmony. That all races.
All right, we see our special guest in the building. Miss Meeks is here. So, Max, you want to do the honors of introducing her? Go ahead, the floor is yours, Max.
Well, first, let me say Francine says good morning to everyone from the chat room. And I would like to take this moment to introduce the wonderful Amina Blackwood Meeks.
Yes, give thanks.
Yes, welcome.
Give thanks.
Oh, wow.
Off air, I will tell you how the utilities conspired, but the ancestors had a different agenda. So here we are.
Cho-cho.
Oh, wow. Beautiful, beautiful to see you.
Give thanks.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know who Amina is, you want to tell them, give them a synopsis of who you are?
That is always such a difficult question. Because usually when people ask that question, they expect you to give a long list of who is who. And that's not who we are at all. Sure. We remind ourselves every day that we're fingers of the same hand. And we have 5 fingers, but if one of them sick, we can't make a fist to pick up anything. So I like to see Amina Blackwood Meeks in the context of the collective. These beautiful people who are on the Zoom, in the room, the beautiful people all over the diaspora, all over the world who are watching. I am part of that. I also like to acknowledge my star quality. I was born on the 4th day of the month. And if you read your Bible, you know, say on the 4th day, he hung the stars in the sky. But here the thing about a star now. You see, when there is one star in the sky, not a soul looking up. You see when we get up, I tell you, you see when we get up and the star full of sky, the sky full of star, here we, what that one name, what the other one name, what the other one name. So part of who I am is recognizing my place in the cosmos and acknowledging that we all shine together and hand pan hand make hand clap. And then I am the first child of Pearl and Johnny. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. I have 1 son and 2 adopted daughters. And I have a grandson and a granddaughter. And if God give you a talent according to how we make you up. So from him make me up, him know say me love chat. So him say, oh then, you're going to be a storyteller.
No man, that's a God-given ability. I don't chat a love chat. That's a God-given ability.
True.
I always tell people that to them say you chat too much. I say no, that's a God-given ability.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, not everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Everybody have different, abilities. So, where is Courtney? Courtney.
I have a question.
All right, go with your question.
Sister Amina, I would love to know when you are, oh wow, you blow me away. First of all, I don't even know what to say or to say. I'm just so happy to see you here. I've heard so much about you. When did you get started? I mean, when did you know? Like, maybe you can't give me an exact time, but like, when did you know that something? This is what I'm going to do.
I didn't know. It took me a long time to be convinced into it. Let me just honor my parents who came from the country. And we know what that means in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
We know that country people are marginalized and them not have no sense.
True.
And yet when we watch the Olympics, we see say a country people and some young people.
Be a country people.
And make we turn star.
Yeah.
So my parents came from the country. My father was from Manchester and my mother was from a beautiful place with a lovely name called Mount Zion in Brandon Hill in rural St. Andrew. And they told us stories all the time. They raised us on stories. They spoke to us anecdotally. But they also raised us to excel in your education, because we know say labor for learning before you grow old. For learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. When people started to call me a storyteller, would you believe that initially I was offended?
Yes.
Because my parents who are marginalized Jamaicans raised me now to go get a good education, to turn somebody, and you are calling me storyteller in a place where we use story to be a euphemism for lie. So you're two story. And then at the center of our stories is a Nancy who too little and too black and too bright and too African. And that you compare me to. But as I grew, and in the interest of time, I'm going to try and summarize the story. As I grew and grew into an exploration of storytelling, it's the most important thing I can do. Yeah. It's absolutely the most important thing. In Burkina Faso, the Dagara people have 5 elements. Now we know 4. We know of earth, wind, air, and fire. In Burkina Faso, the Dagara people make storytellers the 5th element.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Can't do without them.
No, true.
And when we look at the role of the griots all over the continent, and I know we shouldn't talk about all over the continent, it's 54 countries, so we can't make the 3 where we know be all over the continent, right? But when our studies and our travels lead us to discover the role of the storyteller, one of the greatest storytellers was Aesop. Yes. Who many people want to come from Greece. Them never said them enslave him in Greece. And that his name, A-E-S-O-P, in the ancient way of joining up the A and the E, really is the Ethiop, the Ethiopian. And that many, and Aesop lived 600 years before Christ. And many of the stories that we see in the Bible as the parables that Jesus told are really stories told by Aesop. And what was Aesop's job as a storyteller? To educate the children of those who enslaved him. How awesome is that? That storytellers, in fact, in some cultures, in Spanish and in French, the same word that means history also means story. And the Spanish have another word for story. Is it el cuento or la cuenta? I get confused with the gender of the word. But what it means is the account of. So storytellers are called upon to be accountable. That's and right. To give account of themselves and their people and their history. So when I discovered I was a storyteller, when it was pointed out to me I was a storyteller, when I placed the role of storytellers in the role of memory and see storytelling as central to reparation, how do we remember ourselves? How do we repair the cultural loss? Then it's the most important thing I can do. No, you can't just have a beautiful voice and be a storyteller. You have to be a content. You have to have content.
Yes.
So I give thanks to my parents who gave us content. Respect yourself, respect other people. That's content, you know. Respect the environment. See, all of those things where your granny teacher now come as sustainable development goals.
Yes, it's true.
They should have asked your granny to write it.
It's true.
And then I give respect to my teachers in primary school, the old time primary school teachers who would sit you on their laps, who would sit me on their laps and tell me that I could write and put me up in every concert at school to tell story. And the same thing happened. So in the interest of time, I won't go through it. I just want to say that I recognize that I was raised by angels, and the angels look like you, Courtney, and it look like Errol, who always tell me, say, me nicer than sliced bread, and it look like you, Sister Max, and these are the angels who continue to raise me, because being raised is never finished. Being raised is every time somebody affirms you. And when you recognize in that affirmation that they too are affirming themselves. So when people stop me on the street and say, see the storyteller there? Hear me. See a good story listener there? That's how you know. That's right. How you know that means a good storyteller. That's unless right. You are listening. So exactly. Iron sharpen iron, and hand pan hand make hand clap. And in this moment, I look forward to growing as a storyteller and to be trusted with being accountable for our stories of survival and resilience and victoriousness. That's and right. Just never roll over and die.
That's right. Love it. You took me back home. I want to cry because people don't understand the importance of a storyteller. When a storyteller, I can remember being in Jamaica when my grandmother came with everybody, and it's story time. And that was the time for bonding, love, and understanding. Wow. We have time for a story?
Yeah, we have time for a story.
We have time for everything.
Yes, we have time for a story. So, the most recent story that I posted on my Facebook page, I posted on Emancipation Day. And I'd like to be able to tell that story now. Yes. You know that when we take a story, it never come out the same way. So the original story is a Jamaican traditional story about puss, rat, and dog.
All right.
And I have made it into a story called The Free Paper. You know how to start a story, by the way? The Europeans start their story once upon a time. It only happened once. We know say it happened twice. We know say so far in the Olympics it happened 8 times. How much time them play the Jamaica national and have to salute the black, green, and gold. This once upon a time we know enough. That's not really true. We use it because the world is accustomed to it. But once upon a time is a phrase invented by a British man, Sidney O'Dell Addy, who went around the world many, many centuries ago collecting people's stories. And when he got back to England to write down the story in the way that they're so imperious, that word I want? Yes, no one other word. But imperious, I go arrogant. For now, he forgot how people started their stories. And him just write down, say stories start once upon a time. So the Australians who start their story in the dream time, him not pay them no mind. The original Americans who start their stories, Raven, running along the beach, him not pay them no mind. The Africans who have a call and response, him not pay them no mind. Him just want colonize we head and say, the story start once upon a time. But amongst our people, African people, a storyteller has to give a call, and those who are listening have to make a response. In that way, we acknowledge that we are are part of a longer now. That's a Nigerian phrase, which means that now isn't the moment in time that your clock is saying. Now is a consequence of what has happened before us. And now dictates what will happen after us. So again, the responsibility of the storyteller. So there are several ways of doing the call and response. Miss Lou said that when she was little, before you tell a story, you have to catch a red ants and mashy guts. Because the fat in the red ants guts means say any bad thing in the story, oh, you tabakaba him can't do nothing. But true Jamaicans are a non-violent people, and we not kill nothing. And the poor little ants, deserve to live. Then down in Steertown in St. Anne, before they start a story, the storyteller says, Nancy, and those who are listening say, Tory. So I'm going to use that one this morning. Nancy,
Story.
Very good. You know the thing about one man and his dog went to mow the meadow? Yes. Well, one man did have a dog, and the man never did mow no meadow. Him give the dog all the dirty work to do. The dog had to bark after a stranger. The dog couldn't sleep on the veranda. The dog had to sleep out in the elements. And when him feel like it, him give the dog little bone for eat. And then him gave the dog a matching name. Him called the dog Dog. You know, say back a dog, and front a dog, a Mr. Dog. But this dog never even get Mr. So dog. When the man gone out, dog have to watch the house and so on. You know how we treat dog. And you know, say dog get fed up at the treatment, and him look next door, and him see a proper dog who got fed and get beard and get flea and ticks powder. So one day, him go up to the fence and him had a consultation with the dog next door. Dog next door say, you know, say, I know so every dog get treated. And him say, really? Him say, how you manage to not get treated that way? And the dog tell him how his master treat him good. And the dog said, if my master not treat me good, me I go run away. Okay. And the dog say, you can't run away, so you know. You have to get something named a free paper. When you get your free paper now, master no have no say over your life. And before dog could have said to the dog next door, how you get free paper, master interrupted the consultation. Grab dog and tie him on a tree. So dog under the tree and beside say, since him never get to finish the consultation, he's going to appeal to a higher powers. So one night when master gone in bed, dog discover say him could have climbed. And him climbed the tree till him couldn't reach no further. And him say, I must say up here so higher powers live. And him bark all night to the higher powers and beg them to give him a free paper. When daylight, my dear sisters and brothers, dog no find himself with a piece of paper marked free. Him bust where the chain man and him get way and him hop and down the town and walk with him free paper. People see him, had a dog see him and say, how you get way? Him show the free paper. But after a while, it come in like the free paper was too difficult to take care of. It in my mouth, you know. So when him want to eat, him have to put it down. When him want to run up and down, him have to put it down. Him say, this thing too hard to look after, yeah. Never beg somebody look after it for me. In those days, Puss and Dog were very good friends. So him find himself at the yard of the Puss. And him say, Puss, you know, say me have this thing? Yes, it means free paper. Me not have to have no master again. But botheration, botheration there. It hard to look after. You can take care right for me? And Joe Puss and friend, Puss say yes. Well, one day dog walk up and down in the district. When somebody said to him, you know, here say, master, look for you. Here, dog, look for you. Me have free paper. Him never said the word good. Who a come round the corner? No, master. Master said, come here, dog. Me and you going home. Dog said, going home, which part? I have a free paper. And the free paper say, me not have it in your chains anymore. Master say, well, me give you 3 days to produce the habeas corpus of the free paper. Dog said 3 days as you quint it reach. And dog run no man. Gone at the yard of Puss. Him say, Puss, you know, I say, old master buck me up. And I talk about, say, me if you bring paper, come show him. Bring it, come here. And Puss come out very quiet, looking very sheepish. If Puss can look sheepish, here Puss, you know, say, me no have it. It was a little difficult for me to take care of it too. And you see, like how me are your best friend, me have a best friend, you know, Miss Mouse. Miss Mouse are my best friend. And so me give to her for keep. So come we go up on Miss Mouse yard. And the 2 of them gone up on Miss Mouse yard. You can imagine now how dog heart is not so quiet, you know. It a go on with a whole heap of things in my heart. And reach Miss Mouse yard now, man. And Puss call out and say, Miss Mouse, the thing that I give you to keep, you can bring it. Botheration. Here, Miss Mouse. The thing that say, dog is free. The thing that write up all of his description. For you know your free paper have up your description. Because them no want nobody walk around and see a for them own. The thing that say the amount of liquid dog get in face chamber. The thing that say the way dog never eat no food in 2 belly side gone in. He say, yes, man, yes, bring it. Botheration. Them wait a long time before Miss Mouse come out and say, we never know, say you did want it. Or the other night was very cool. And all the little mice rat them was very cool. So me just tear it up into equal pieces and give each of them a blanket. And when me look, piece did left over. And 2 minutes cold too, me wrap up myself in the other piece. And by morning, everything wet, so me dash away. You can imagine the condition. He couldn't even pant. You can imagine Puss condition. He let down his friend. He couldn't even meow. Here, Miss Rat. Then, it did important to you, Puss. Here, Puss. Not to me. To my best friend. To my best friend, dog. Here, Rat. Then, if it was so important to him, why never take care of it? Botheration, botheration, there. And your granny tell you, say, when the story done, the teller going to say, Jack Mandora, are you going to say what?
Me not choose none.
Grow with your granny. Good granny. Clap your granny. If it's so important to you, why we not taking care of it?
That's right.
That's true. Man.
That's right. That's right. Wow. That was beautiful. Wow. I am speechless. That was beautiful.
I want with that's all Puss and dog fall out.
Yes.
My mother always tell Puss and dog have the same look.
Me that wait, me the thing say put the mom said I go take your paper and burn it up and say free paper burn. Me that wait.
Yeah.
In the next version.
Yeah, free paper burn. Yeah.
I love it. I want to hug you. That's all, and this is why we need you and more storytellers.
But you know, my sister, you've put it in my head to research now where that phrase came from. Because I'm just imagining that some of them wicked slave master would have taken some free paper and burn it and burn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Free paper.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You inspire me. And you inspire me because I am too a chatterbox. My pet name at Jamaica was Parakeet. I didn't tell me so many I'm too much foul batty. But you know.
I hear a parakeet in the garden. Want a parakeet.
I love you. Oh my goodness. You make me say something totally different. The importance, I think we forgot. I have to say, I forgot how vital storytelling is. It's one of the things that's missing. It really is. You took me home.
And then we have to join hands and deliver these kinds of stories so that people will understand it's not just keke kind of stories.
Right.
Because whatever has happened in the past, and we honor those who collected our stories and who told our stories, but a whole generation was raised on the fact that you just sit down and laugh and you laugh a piece soup. And the first one-woman show that I did in Jamaica, because every so often I do a one-woman show of stories, I invited one of my friends from childhood and the youth club days, and he said to me, you know, say you can't tell me a story where me not hear about yet. And that's the complacency. That's the complacency of believing that we have heard every story. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, I was sitting in my doctor's office. I went to get my regular checkup, and him said, what you reading? And I said, I'm reading a collection of African stories because I continue to be intrigued by how the stories were told on that side of the continent and what happened to them when they came on this side of the continent, and to see what remains of our memory, what remains. And I've learned stories. For example, when I lived in Antigua, I had a children's play group, and an 8-year-old boy who is now a big man, who was born in Nigeria of a Nigerian father and an Antiguan mother, and the Nigerian father at that time had not seen the Caribbean. Adekunle told me a story that his Nigerian father told him, which my Jamaican father told me, who never did go to Nigeria. And so what remains? We begin to see storytelling not just as stories that have survived, but stories as an instrument of our survival. What do we remember, and how important is our memory? And sometimes in the storytelling world, we talk about remembering, not just in your brain, but in terms of putting back your dismembered parts together. So how do we remember ourselves, and what's the role of storytelling in that?
Wow. Are you teaching? I'm sorry, I'm hugging you. I'm talking behind your back. I'm telling Franco, I love her.
Don't hug me. Don't hug me. Lie on me.
Lioness. I want to know, do you know a lot of Anansi story as well? Because those are the ones I grew up on in the 60s.
Yeah. In some parts of the world, I'm called the Anansi specialist.
Okay.
And yes, I teach storytelling. I have a storytelling course online, a 20-hour course, which the Institute of Caribbean Studies at the University of the West Indies graciously consented that it could be held under their banner. So it is being held under their banner. We've done 3 cohorts of the storytelling course, and the aim is that eventually it will be accredited by the UCJ, and I will be able to run it by myself. Let me just say that when I approach the university, them swell me head, them say, Amina, you don't need nobody to approve of what you are doing. Go do your thing. But of course, we know that we need it. So we're doing it now in collaboration with them, with their endorsement, and eventually. So we promote these to universities, and it's a 20-hour course. So it can be done over a 10-week period of 2 hours each week, or over a 5-week period of 4 hours each week. And they can contact us, and we can see what is the best fit for them, and timetable it according to their program.
Wow. Well, I know we're coming close to the running out of time, but I am going to contact you.
No, we're going to use the 15. We're going to use the 15 today.
Okay.
We
I love it. I love it because I need that course.
Empress, that friend request on my Facebook page from you is a genuine request?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Answer because I thought we were friends already.
Wait a minute.
Who are going like me an idiot?
Hold on. Let me double check that because
Yes,
there's a lot
please.
of hacking been going on lately.
Yes.
I'm going to double check it.
Please.
Because I think so too. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yes, and then clarify it for me so we can proceed accordingly.
I surely will. Oh, I'm honored. Okay, I'm going to let somebody else come in because I'm being very selfish because I do not sell no fish, but I want it to myself. So I'm going to do that.
Why, Max, you're full of lyrics this morning, I tell you.
It's not me. It's Amina, Empress Amina.
Courtney, go on through, Courtney.
Amina, Courtney.
Yes, give thanks.
Yeah, well, you want to ask now to equate your the storytellers with the oral historians in Africa in our past, because I see the difference that maybe they tell a story, but oral historians usually hold this history because you remember even the movie Roots when they went to the storyteller or the oral historian, and when they got to the part when Kunta Kinte was chipping out this wood to make a boat or a drum or something, and so I know that there are similarities, but I think there are differences also. So could you give me a perspective on that?
Yes, there are similarities and there are differences. Let me just say that in my travels and in my studies, I have not been able to find any single word on the continent that means storytelling. Because storytelling is where all of what we're calling the art forms meet, for want of a better word. So we sing and dance. The storytelling is a place where our proverbs and riddles reside. And one of my favorite words for storytelling is pataki, P-A-T-A-K-I. And it's among the Yoruba people where stories are told specifically for your spiritual upbringing. So you see, like how we know the Bible, or we think we know the Bible, or whatever holy book we use, there are 400 patakis that you learn as part of your spiritual upbringing. That's critical. Wow. The second critical thing I want to say is that when we look at someone like Chinua Achebe, and I hope I have pronounced his name correctly because I came across someone who said Achebe, and I'm not sure. So it could be either of those. Chinua Achebe talks about being raised on stories, being socialized on stories. Right. So that storytelling is also part of your education. We talk in parables. Say your mother talked to you in a parable. And that's part of the storyteller's role. A critical part of the storyteller's role also is to maintain not just hundreds, but thousands of years of history of the tribe. And I use that word advisedly because our African sisters and brothers don't often find that word flattering, but we're going to use it now because the English language is so limited. You keep thousands of years of history in your head so that you can pass it on to the next generation. When they have finished telling a story in Nigeria, me love Nigeria, because I could find other examples, but I'm picking on this one because it speaks to the point I want to make. Mm-hmm. When a storyteller has finished telling a story, they find someone in the audience, they touch them on the shoulder, and they say, I put it on you. That means to say you better had been paying attention. Because for the rest of your life, you have to carry that story. Wow. And so that's the part of the role of the griot. And they often say that when we lose a storyteller, we lose an entire library. Sure. Among the Akan people, they say the only story you can tell is your own. It's the one you heard from your grandmother. That doesn't literally mean to say you can't tell anybody else's story, But the fact that you heard it from your grandmother underscores the generational quality of the story. So the storytelling has all of those objectives. In Jamaica, We have storytellers who don't even know that they are storytellers. They wouldn't even call themselves oral historians. But me meet them all the time. Courtney, the whole of owner meet them all the time. Max, you meet them all the time. Where is Errol? Meet them all the time. Hear them. Hear you. Them say, who you? And you say, my name is Amina Blackwood. Hear them. Where you come from? Hear you. St. Elizabeth. Hear them. Ginger Hill or Kilmarnock? Hear you. Ginger Hill. Hear them. You know Mass Lewis.
And that's how the story starts.
You quint, Errol. Them tell you your whole life story. That's what they are. True. They're oral historians. Yeah. They are griots. And they might not even acknowledge themselves as such. And here is something wonderful about the culture, the Jamaican culture, that so much of African remains automatically, seamlessly in who we are, that we don't even know, say, that we are do. So it's a very important issue that you have raised, Courtney. And I haven't reached the stage where I could call myself a griot. No, but I've reached a stage where I know I'm a storyteller and that my gift is to use stories for our moral and spiritual and social upbringing.
Wow.
Wow.
You taught me so much just now. We have one of our guests named Queen Angela. Her other given name is Queen Pataki. And I did not know the meaning of her name. I did not get a chance to ask her. And you just, wow. Boom.
Yes.
You just ball it out. And Queen Angela is here, right? Yeah, there's Queen Angela.
She's here. She's here. Wow. I think I have another call in.
I want to hear a Nancy story.
Yes, Anansi story.
Yes, Anansi story.
Let me find okay. So there is the Anansi story of the wisdom pot, sometimes called the wisdom calabash. Mm-hmm. And because, as I said earlier, I place storytelling squarely in the arena of reparation. When I find an Anansi story, I ask myself, whose lens am I learning this story through? Is it through the African lens? Is it through the lens of what happened to us on that triangular trade? Or is it through the lens of the European who try beat it out away? And the wisdom calabash is one such. And I have researched the origin of the wisdom calabash, and this is my attempt to redeem it and to use it for reparation. So, Nancy, where are my... Thank you very much. A long time ago, the supreme god, whose name is Nyankopong, got up and walked to the edge of heaven and looked down and saw how foolish human beings were, and saw our propensity to be taken in by fake news. And him say, them me create? No, sir, them too foolish. Me have to send wisdom down to earth. And he went and he got himself a huge calabash. And in that calabash, he put all the things he knew we needed to learn. He put little science, he put little technology, little engineering, little art, little mathematics, and he put a whole heap of story, and he cover it down. And he said, who can I trust to take this calabash of wisdom down to earth? And him look around, and who him find? No, brother Nancy. Kwa Nancy. Oh yes, him say Nancy, I want you to take this calabash of wisdom down to earth, and I want you to give it to my people, and I want them to know that I have sent it to them so they can use it to save the world of all of these impersonators. So Nancy come down to earth with him calabash, wisdom, and Trim is the God of wisdom, and decide say, say something so precious, you can't just give it away. So me go find one sacred tree, and me go put the calabash in that tree with the wisdom. And then Nancy walk all around the world, man, and he might try find a tree. He must go to South Africa and him find the baobab. He must find the yellow merente somewhere else. Where the sequoia, he must come up to America and find the Sequoia. And him said, no, none of these trees can do. And him reach Jamaica. And him go to a river. Because you know, Nancy love go a river, you know. The spiritual place. Me go down a river with me calabash. Me looking at the water with me calabash. And when a Nancy looking at the water with the calabash, the water tell him where he must go and put the calabash of wisdom. Nobody says no aki tree. For me here say after this Olympics, the International Olympics Committee is going to ban aki. For them say, I must see it make we are going so bad. And me tell them say if you ban aki, we have shad and breadfruit and some cartwheel dumplings. So you will see there. And so Nancy walk round until him find the bloomer hole. And Nancy go up in the bloomer hole tree. But when him go up now, the calabash tie on pan him belly. And through tie on pan him belly, it'll make the sound of the song when here down by the river. Me go down a river with the calabash. And it'll go on so sweet that people from far and near hear it and come to find out what I do it. When them look, them see Kwaku and Nancy with the calabash pan him belly, hear them. And Nancy, where you have this so? It look like one mug. Our mug, it look like something me could I use and make jewelry. Yeah, Nancy. What that you have, Nancy? And Nancy said, it is all of the above. And the Supreme God put something in there and send me with it from all the way Africa to give you everything you need to save the world. Here one little picnic. That some story say is in Tukuma, who happens to be a Nancy firstborn child. Here one little picnic. Then brother Nancy, you know, she say it's hard to carry it by your belly. Why you don't carry it by your back? And Nancy, take the wisdom of the little picnic, come out of the tree and put the calabash pan him back and him start go up again. Me go down a river, you want next, Maddie. And Nancy, put the calabash by your shoulder. And Nancy, come back down. Put it on his shoulder. And all of these people who didn't know what the calabash was and didn't know what was in it, all of a sudden them turn expert and them tell Nancy, put on your shoulder, back of your knee, by your head, and I saw them go on till poor Nancy get confused and the calabash drop a ground and broke and the wisdom scatter away. When a Nancy look, he not see one little man a come out of some bush, same name Plato, creep up some and gone with it. And when he go away, you know, he tell him friend, and he come out with him friend and introduce him as Aristotle. Aristotle take up some now and gone. Then come with one another friend, named Pythagoras. Pythagoras come, he take up some and gone. Hippocrates take up some and gone. And I saw the whole of them who never know what this thing was for, come and take up some and gone. And all the people who Nancy brought it for, turn up there, look like them a idiot and I know say, and Nancy bring it for them because the Supreme God sent everything that we need to save the world. Jack Mandor.
Me no choose none.
Well, this one is a bombshell.
Yeah, man, that are the bombshell. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Love it.
Wow.
Love it.
I would have sit down and listen to you all day.
Then, of course.
So I'm very blessed to be able to be in touch with storytellers from the continent that I can say to them, how I want to tell this story over here, so, and what it means. And when I first told them the Jamaican version, that we learned to say, Nancy's so foolish, because him a try thief wisdom and no say, I know him one wise. And they said, yes, we acknowledge that knowledge is always being created. So no matter how much of it you have, there is always more to learn and more to get. But that part of it is not the interpretation. The interpretation on this side is to laugh after Nancy and demonize him and call him all kind of things.
Right. Wow. I love it. Can we get more? Am I being too greedy?
Some more.
Where are you, Empress? Where are you? I need to find you. Where are you?
I'm in Kingston, Jamaica.
All right. Same way. I forget out I and come down there. Wow. We can't we have you every day?
Yeah, we could have organized once a week. We could have really and truly, we could have organized that. We have children in the diaspora.
Yes.
Who we know the connection between confidence and academic excellence and personal being. We know that. Mm-hmm. As teachers, we have been taught, at least the theory of learning that I take on board is the one that says we learn to be before we can be educated. So we learn to be confident. We learn to be bright and out of order. Then while we've done something for them order, we learn to be bright and out of order. And the link between our understanding and embracing our culture and being bright and out of order. Our children need that, especially in this so-called globalized world where we have now sent them online for 18 months and we don't know how much longer they're going to be online. And we will be online forever. We know that we're part of the creation of this technology, but we don't see ourselves on it. Right. We don't see the way we interpret ourselves on it, unless we do programs such as these. So wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just link up some Jamaican children and say, look here, once a week, once a month, we're going to sit down and talk some Anansi stories, but also some contemporary stories and see what doors they open to embracing our culture, our heritage, and our greatness. We who make pyramids and sell the first book Upper Axum, we who them confine with the first Bible in the temples of Lalibela, we who teach them to explore the sea that we were exploring for 800 years before them name know say sea could explore. We have to take it back. And we have to take it back in the stories that we tell ourselves. Ben Okri, a Nigerian, The Famished Road is one. I don't know why that book always comes to my mind, but he has so many others, says that we really love Nigeria. Anyway, Ben Okri. I love South Africa too. South Africa and Haiti have been, I think, the most profound spiritual influence on my being. So I'm going to explore what it is about Nigeria. Maybe when I do my DNA, I will find that the ancestors there are calling me. But Ben Okri says that a people are as sick or as healthy as the stories they tell themselves.
Yes.
And so we need to find the healthy stories to tell ourselves. We need to find the stories of greatness. Look here, if you never know how the Vietnam War go, every time you watch an American movie, you swear, say, America win the war. And we know, said, nothing never go so. But they tell their people that. Right. So what are the stories of greatness that we must tell our people? We must tell them, say, after the storm, it go down a Katrina the other day. And people are sitting down and say, how are we going to cook? Because we don't have any electricity for the electric cookers. Then some Jamaicans say, then the tree them not blow down. You never hear about firewood for cook.
Yes.
So it's the same thing that when I was lamenting this morning that JPS like I have the light and Flo, thank you Flo, and Flo gone with the internet. And when me try call them, me get a recording that say, if you're calling from Kingston and St. Andrew, we are aware of the technical difficulties and they're being addressed. And then when Errol say, I remember what Errol say, and me say, but Errol, you know, say true, that's a good idea. Make me just grab my liquor machine now and drive and fight on my friend them and say, excuse me, please. Capture yourself in the time. Those are the stories we need to tell ourselves.
Yes.
Me can't sit down and throw up my hand and say, oh Lord, everything gone, everything not gone. And that's what it means to be resourceful, that we are resourceful. And even in this emancipation, independence time, when we look around and we see great houses, we say, who for hand create that? Who stand up in the brilliant sun? When Massa did afraid of the Bagwalk River, is who did build the bridge? You think Massa did build the bridge over it? We did do that, and just keep affirming the wonderful things that we have given to civilization. The challenge is that the story we learn about independence and emancipation make it look like, say, it's one time it happened, it done. And like the dog, we don't realize that every day we wake up, we have to go out and redeem it and renew it and protect it. Because the people who never want give it are waiting to take it back. I will never forget how the late Professor Barry Evans, in discussing with him Bedward one day, he said, the colonial powers were content to say Bedward mad and make we laugh after him until Bedward say the black wall is overtaking the white wall. And them realize say Paul Bogle had said that in 1865. And what was the outcome of that? But we never even did hear say Paul Bogle did say it.
Right.
So we couldn't even remember it. But when they heard it, them said, no, sir, we cannot afford for this to happen. So the renewal of who we are and what goes into our spirit is something we need to do every day. Otherwise, we believe that the semblances of emancipation are real. When you have to get up and go to the same place 9 to 5 every day, and them tell you how much day for the year you can be sick.
Exactly.
You can't sick more than 14 days for the year. And how many days for the year you can go on vacation and renew your spirit. Then we have to ask ourselves, how real is it? And because we only have the semblances of it sometimes, we fool ourselves that there is nothing left to fight for. There is always something left to fight for. That's why what happened on the Capitol Hill on the 6th of January, on Maroon Independence Day, by the way, is so ironic. And such a reminder that every day we go out and redeem and claim another victory.
That is so true. That is so true.
With that, we have to wrap up. That was the perfect statement, closing statement. That was beautiful and well needed. And you are well needed.
Give thanks.
We all are. We have to remember that.
Give thanks. Hand per hand, make hand clap.
And I want to say thank you again to you and everyone here, our guests, viewers, watchers, subscribers. We are going to have Miss Amina Blackwood Meeks back again. We have to. We just have to. And I would like to say thank you very much. And you all have to remember, we're all in this thing called life together. Remember that. Franco?
Yes. Thank you very much, Amina, for your presence this morning. Yes,
Give thanks. I'm trying to read all the comments.
And we want to bring you forward again. We want to bring you forward. And Max, sit down and talk with her about that, once a week, once out of the week. With the children.
I am on it.
With the children, we can get some children here. And remember those in the YouTube in the YouTube room this morning. Remember also everyone viewing to subscribe, like, and share the video. The object of this channel is to educate and entertain you as well. All right. So with that, we're gonna get out of here. And those in Jamaica this morning, we know later you're going to be under lockdown, but enjoy the independence as much as you can. Do what you have to do, and turn and make fashion in whatever way. If you don't, you hear Amina say she never have no light, and she go find it, hook up a friend and thing like that, and floor run gone, and she find floor. So everything is there, and we have to just capitalize on it the best way we can.
Yes.
And so,
if you know how to save the messages in the chat, any one of you, Courtney, Max, anybody. I would love to. I don't have my glasses, so I'm struggling to read them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna send it to you. I think they're actually there on recording, so we can send it to them, by text or email to you. Yeah.
Give thanks. Thank you so very much for being patient, for allowing me to join this late so that we wouldn't have a no-show. Errol, thank you so much. The minute I called to say I'm having a problem, he got on his problem-solving feet. So give thanks.
Yeah, man. We're glad for that. We're glad for that. So, in the language of the Garifuna, we're going to ask Queen Lubafo to say the Our Father, and then Tafina will take with myself and take us out of here. So all of you enjoy your weekend. Those of you who know that you're going to party, do it responsible as best as you can. A lot of celebration going around in Florida as well. Jamaicans going to be having a ball from today right up until Sunday. So whatever you do, remember, think about your neighbor as well.
You lead us to full. You belong far away away. Ajuguala lebo buseru. Lida mua lida sungfula. Lida mua lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Shorty I leave where I is.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play you, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch.